Welcome to Sample Exams, where software testing questions get solved, step by step. Let's get started. Answer A is not correct. Retrospectives are used to capture lessons learned and to improve the development and testing process, not to document the acceptance criteria. Answer B is correct. This is the standard way to document acceptance criteria. Answer C is not correct. Verbal communication does not allow to physically document the acceptance criteria as part of a user story, card aspect in the 3Cs model. Answer D is not correct. Acceptance criteria are related to a user story, not a test plan. Also, acceptance criteria are the conditions that have to be fulfilled to decide if the user story is complete. Risks are not such conditions. Answer A is correct. This is something that can and should be checked before the code is submitted to version control. Answer B is not correct. This is something that can be checked after step 2 is performed, because merge conflict reporting can be done after the code is submitted and merged. Answer C is not correct. This fits better as the entry criterion for step 3. Answer D is not correct. This fits better as the exit criterion for step 3. Answer A is not correct. Although it is correct to say that in Agile software development, some of the test management tasks may be handled by the Agile team itself, the testing role is not primarily the responsibility of a single individual from outside the team. Instead, the testing is more likely to be performed by various team members following the whole team approach. Answer B is not correct. The test management role primarily involves activities related to test planning, test monitoring and control, and test completion. So, although this statement is partially correct, it is wrong to say that the testing role is primarily responsible for test monitoring and control. Answer C is correct. In Agile software development, some of the test management tasks may be handled by the Agile team itself. However, for test activities that span multiple teams within an organization, test managers outside of the development team may perform these tasks. Answer D is not correct. The test management role primarily involves activities related to test planning, test monitoring and control, and test completion, while the testing role is primarily responsible for the technical and engineering aspects of testing, such as test analysis, test design, test implementation, and test execution. Thus, the test management role is not normally responsible for test analysis and test design, although it is correct to say that the testing role is primarily responsible for test implementation and execution. Answer A is not correct. The combination TTF does not match any rule. This is an example of omission, not a contradiction. Answer B is not correct. The combination TFT matches only one column, R2, so there is no contradiction. Answer C is not correct. Both combinations TTT and FTT match only one column, R1, so there is no contradiction. Answer D is correct. The combination FFF matches both R2 and R3, but R2 and R3 have different actions, so this shows a contradiction between R2 and R3. Answer A is not correct. Testers should review work products as soon as drafts are available to enable early testing as part of a shift-left approach. If they waited until the next development phase, then unnecessary development and test Work could be started on unreviewed, flawed work products. Answer B is correct. Testers should review work products as soon as drafts are available to enable early testing as part of a shift-left approach. Answer C is not correct. Testers typically review work products that form the test basis as part of test analysis, not before test analysis and design. Answer D is not correct. Testers should review work products as soon as drafts are available to enable early testing as part of a shift-left approach. Waiting until they are published means that any defects that could be found by tester review will be in the published document. Test cases TC1, TC2, TC3, and TC4 cover, respectively, rules R2, R3, R7, and R6 in the decision table. Answer A is correct. The conditions 66-year-old, unregistered, and no experience match rule R4, which is not covered by the existing test cases, so after adding this test case, the decision table coverage will increase. Answer B is not correct. The conditions 55-year-old, unregistered, and 2 years of experience match rule R2, already covered by TC1. So adding this test case will not increase the coverage. Answer C is not correct. The conditions 19-year-old, registered, and 5 years of experience match rule R6, already covered by TC4. So adding this test case will not increase the coverage. Answer D is not correct. The existing test cases cover only 4 out of 7 columns of the decision table. The coverage can be increased by adding test cases that cover yet uncovered columns, that is, R1, R4, and R5. Answer A is correct. The test plan may include test data requirements as part of the test approach, but not the detailed test data for test cases. Test data is part of the test cases, not the test plan. Also, it is usually impossible to define such data when the test plan is created, because it is not exactly known what the components will look like. Answer B is not correct. One of the purposes of a test plan is to help ensure that the performed test activities will meet the established criteria, by including entry criteria and exit criteria. The code coverage criteria are an example of such criteria for the component test level. Answer C is not correct. Documentation templates are typical content of a test plan. This helps to facilitate communication between the stakeholders by defining a standard way of communicating or reporting. Answer D is not correct. One of the purposes of a test plan is to demonstrate that testing will adhere to the existing test policy and test strategy, or to explain why the testing will deviate from them. This is an example of explaining the deviation regarding the test levels that will be, or will not be, followed. The testware under consideration is a test charter. Test charters are the output from test design, hence, D is correct. Answer A is correct. Since 100% statement coverage is achieved, every statement, including the ones with defects, must have been executed and evaluated at least once. Answer B is not correct. Coverage depends on what is tested, not on the number of test cases. For example, for code if x equals 0, y equals 1, one test case, x equals 0, achieves 100% statement coverage, but two test cases, x equals 1, and x equals 2, together achieve only 50% statement coverage. Answer C is not correct. If there is a loop in the code, there may be an infinite number of possible paths, so it is not possible to execute all the possible paths in the code. Answer D is not correct. Exhaustive testing is not possible. See the 7 testing principles section in the syllabus. Answer A is not correct. The testing role is primarily responsible for the technical and engineering aspects of testing, such as test analysis, test design, test implementation, and test execution. Evaluating the test basis for defects and the test object for testability are tasks performed as part of test analysis, so it is likely they are tasks performed by the testing role. Answer B is not correct. The testing role is primarily responsible for the technical and engineering aspects of testing, such as test analysis, test design, test implementation, and test execution. Defining the test environment requirements is a task performed as part of test design, so it is likely to be a task performed by the testing role. Answer C is not correct. The testing role is primarily responsible for the technical and engineering aspects of testing, such as test analysis, test design, test implementation, and test execution. Assessing the testability of a test object is a task performed as part of test analysis, so it is likely to be a task performed by the testing role. Answer D is correct. The test management role primarily involves activities related to test planning, test monitoring and control, and test completion. Thus, creating the test completion report, which is the prime output from the test completion activity, is likely to be a task performed by the test management role. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more testing tips and exam walkthroughs. See you in the next video.